92.3 Amp Radio.
Hey, what's up, familia? This is Shoboy of Shoboy in the Morning with the beautiful Nina.
Hello.
And with us today, get ready. She's only 21 years of age, is the second highest selling UK female artist after Adele.
That's crazy.
Are you serious right now?
Crazy.
Give it up for Dua Lipa. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, dude.
Hey,
Welcome.
it's so nice to be here. How are you guys?
Great. What does it feel to hear that sentence, like second highest selling female artist from
Well,
the
it
UK?
makes me blush. And it gets, I'm a bit embarrassed.
Why
I
are
mean,
you?
it's like, it's super cool, but I'm like, I'm going a bit
She's
red.
super humble about it. She's like, yeah, I'm a rock star, but you guys, come on.
She's like, that headline is on my screensaver on my phone, but still.
But yeah.
Well, thanks for coming to hang out with us here on our StubHub Stage at Adorama Live Theatre. All of your super uber fans are hanging out with us on our Facebook Live session right now. Just before we launched in, you said you're super stoked to be in New York. It's your second favorite place to be behind London.
Yeah.
Why is it? If you were to try to explain, like, what excites you about New York?
It's, I don't know. It's like the energy here. I feel like the second, it feels like home, weirdly, and it felt like home the first time I got here without ever being here before. I like the kind of sense of community. I like the feeling of just being able to kind of roam the streets and feel like you're a part of something. I don't know. There's something really special about New York. I feel like I breathe differently here.
How would you compare our subway system to the Tube in London?
The Tube is better.
Oh,
Is it?
Yeah, it is, because here I still can't quite understand the subway system here, because you have to go to a certain station to get to a certain station, whereas in the UK you can go to whichever station.
you just tell a driver, take me home, and they take you?
you can just like, no, if you were to get into a like whatever tube station in London, you will always be able to find your way home, whereas here you have to go to a designated station. That's cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
It
you'll
does.
always
For a
find your way
tourist, it's
home.
hard.
Can we get you to meet with our mayor after this and talk to him about that?
Sure. I feel like I've got a couple things to say.
Before we dive into your amazing music that you've been dropping lately, and we also had Martin Garrix hanging out, and we have a surprise for you
Okay.
from Martin Garrix.
Okay.
Okay? But before we get into that, we want to get to know Dua Lipa. Like, who are you as a human being? You know what I'm saying? Like, before the music, before all this, tell us in a summary where you were born, where you traveled. You have such an eclectic sound, soulfulness. You can do pop, you can do R&B. Like, all that has to be influenced by the way you grew up, you know?
Well, I was born and raised in London, but my parents are from Kosovo, and I've always been surrounded by music. My father was in a band in Kosovo, and he listened to lots of different types of music, from like Bowie to Oasis to Stereophonics to just like lots of different types of music. And I fell in love with pop, like Nelly Furtado and Pink and Destiny's Child and Christina Aguilera, that I'm like obsessed with. And when I was 11, I moved to Kosovo because my parents were working out there, and I think it was there that I really discovered how much I loved performing in front of people, and I really had the opportunity to get up in front of like school and do like school concerts and just be really, really surrounded in the whole kind of music scene. And it was also then when I realized that I didn't feel like I was able to create a music career from over there. So I always, you know, had this idea of going back to London and just pursuing this music career. And when I was 15, I moved back to London on my own.
What did your parents say when you told them, I'm 15, I'm going to go pursue my dreams and move to London? Bye.
Well, I didn't really put it that way. It was more like, oh, I need to go to school over there. And there was like a girl that was doing her master's in London at the same time. And before I left for Kosovo, I was already going to theatre school on Saturdays. While I was, I don't know what this is, by the way.
It's pretty cool, though.
Hanging.
I like it.
I was like, you know, this is an opportunity for me to kind of go back and keep going to theatre school on Saturdays. And for me, it was exciting to be like surrounded by like-minded people. So yeah, that was kind of how it happened. And they were like, they were cool with it.
They let you just go. So
Yeah. I mean, it was like, every time I'd wake up, I'd have to call my mum. When I went to school, I'd call my mum. When I left school, I'd call my mum. It was like, it was kind of controlled, even though I was so far away. And knowing all like the sacrifice that they did for me to kind of let me come on my own, I tried to be as good as possible by like letting them know everything.
Speaking of you performing in school and whatnot, like, is it true that there was once a teacher in front of everybody that said you can't sing, basically?
Yeah. Well, it was primary school, and it was before I
Rude.
What is
It was.
that?
I mean, it was so weird. I was so young, and I didn't really. I guess I didn't really understand it. I always loved singing, and this was before I started going to theatre school, where I was like, you know, my parents told me I could sing. I'd sing around the playground. I was like, look, I'm just going to try and audition for the choir, and this is an assembly, like at the like early in the morning, just. I don't know if you have it here, but when all the classes kind of get together in one room and they kind of talk about
Like an
Assembly.
assembly.
It is an assembly.
okay, so
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
cool. And the music teacher was like, great, who wants to come and audition for the choir? And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get up and do it. And he plays this high note and he goes sing, and nothing comes out, and it's just air. And he just goes, oh well, never mind. Maybe next time, and he never gave me another chance.
What do you want to say to that teacher right now?
So-
He's watching right now. What's
no,
up?
I have nothing. I'm like, I'm cool. It's totally fine. It's definitely like a part of the growth, and yeah.
It
it's
didn't
just kinda-
discourage you. It didn't
Nah.
stop you.
No, I mean, it was probably at some point where I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. But because I loved singing so much, when I went to theatre school, my teacher there was like, oh, you can sing, and would put me in, when I was like 9, he put me in classes with like 14-year-olds, and that's when I was like, oh, maybe there's something here.
Maybe there's something there. And now let's fast forward a couple of years, and you know, we just had Martin Garrix maybe like a week and a half ago or so.
A couple weeks ago.
And you know, obviously you got the record "Scared to Be Lonely" with him, which is killing right now here on
Thank
93
you,
Amp Radio.
thank you.
Also have "No Lie" with Sean Paul, "Be the One," and my favorite, "Blow Your Mind."
Yeah, you like?
Mwah. That's the one I
you
want
was-
to. I
you
want to
was doing
dance.
the
do
dance
like that.
routines to that earlier. I'm sorry. Did I?
No.
Was I not allowed to tell you?
Oh no, you can tell everybody that he dances in front of the mirrors now. He has his song and channeling Dua Lipa.
She's gonna take me on tour tonight, Irving Plaza. Don't miss out.
Yeah.
And then in June we have Governor's Ball.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll be dancing on all
Governor's-
those.
Governor's Ball is the day that I released my album as well.
There it is.
Finally a release date.
Yeah. 2nd of June. So it's gonna be exciting. Lots of new songs for festival season.
Yeah, and you were just talking about this though, that your album, you've been working on it for 3 years. How
Yeah.
how long has it actually been done now?
Well, it's. I did all the final vocals just before I set out on tour.
Oh, you did.
And last night I kind of burst into tears from excitement, just kind of hearing everything come together, because I had all like the final tracks kind of sent through. So it's been really exciting, and it was meant to come out in February, and then we moved it to June, and I'm really happy we did that, because the album, I feel, has completely evolved and changed from what it was going to be to what it is now, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm just really excited.
You should. And I
What would you say it's evolved to, though? Before we move on from that, like 'cause you said, evolved a lot. What was it before? And
Well,
what do you think it is
I've
now?
added some new songs. I had the chance to write. I've worked with some different people that I'm excited about, and yeah.
she's like, but I'm not telling you.
But I'm not
who
telling
that
you.
I
is.
saw her. She's like,
Yeah.
should I? Should I not? That was epic.
But this album, too, though, has been described as something that's extremely personal to you. And as we sit here and we start to get to know you a little bit better, because some people are meeting you for the first time, what is it that your album is saying? What is the story that you're telling about yourself?
Well, it's also, I mean, everything's a lot of personal experience, but I feel over these past few months it's changed a lot, and it's a lot of love songs, but all interpreted in different ways. I guess that's just kind of what's going on in my life. So
Are you currently in love?
I guess.
What?
What is love? Right now?
She's like, I guess. So there's somebody.
I mean, I'm not in a relationship, but yeah.
So you're in love with
In this
life. You're in
situation?
love with what's going on. And,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who's in love with your voice. Martin Garrix.
Oh, really?
Everybody,
so
but yeah.
he was hanging
him
out
too.
with us. Not only him, but he was talking to us about working with you on the track and whatnot. And I want you to hear what he had to say. I don't know if maybe he's expressed this to you or not. So this is what Martin Garrix had to say about you.
All right.
With Dua Lipa, I told the label that I'm absolutely in love with her and her voice, and they said, "Yo, we could try it. Let's send like." And I had this rough demo, send it to her. She was like, "Oh, I love this," and then it started very like every song starts in a different way.
There it is. He said he was absolutely in love and absolutely in love with your voice.
I think he meant as like as an artist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no,
yes,
yeah.
Of course he
Okay.
did.
No, we're not trying to go there at
Okay,
all.
all right,
He said
right,
your
right.
voice. Absolutely.
Yeah,
She's like, let me
he's-
clear that up real quick.
I'm like, I'm just gonna make sure.
But we would love to hear your side of things. How did that come about? He said he was stoked. He's like, I need to work with her, Dua Lipa. How did it happen from your end in creating that song together?
Yeah, I mean, it was Martin and his team that really reached out, and they had this idea, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I think it was a lot about the lyrics, and there was something that really resonated with me. And when I like being quite like selective with like features that I do, and it's always really important for me to get my own music out before. So it was one of those songs that I was like, man, I wish I wrote that song. So yeah, I mean, working with him is amazing. He's so like humble and he's so energetic and he's got just such like an amazing aura about him that it's just, yeah, it was just really, really special to get to work with him.
When he was here, he was telling us like sometimes he'll legit just be like on his phone and like he'll record an idea. He's like, he showed it to us. He played the audio. He's like, dun, 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 dun. Legit. And then he's
No,
like,
it's
then he'll create a
crazy.
song.
We actually did like a little recording, like a little promo thing while we were in London together, and then we were going to go and grab dinner. And while we were on the while we were in the cab, we were just like, oh, let's just make a beat, and we were just like vibing on his computer, and he was just changing things up. It was really cool. He's really great.
No, he is. He's a good vibe. You have an epic vibe. And who are you excited about working with in 2017? Just maybe they might be on the album, they may not be, but who are you excited about to potentially work with in 2017? Like super stoked.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, dream collaborations that I wish I would love to work with someone like The Weeknd.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to write
That would be
with
amazing.
Sia. I would absolutely love to work with Frank Ocean.
Yes.
I mean, there are so many like amazing artists out there that I look up to and that are really kind of changing music, and it's yeah.
But thinking back to the beginning, and artists like you mentioned earlier, like Pink, like Nelly Furtado, have you had a chance to encounter them at all yet?
I've had like a Twitter interaction with Nelly Furtado, and I
Oh, you
lost
did?
my mind. I like lost my mind.
Did you
Yeah,
screenshot
completely.
it and then start showing
I did.
everybody?
I sent it to all my friends. I
Yeah.
was like, "You will never guess what just happened." Yeah, that was really exciting.
What was it about? What did you guys say to
Well, a fan asked me what was my favorite album, and I said "Whoa Nelly" by Nelly Furtado, and then she tweeted me going "Whoa," and then just like lots of like love
Oh,
hearts,
that's cool.
and yeah.
you? Have you heard your music on US radio yet? And what was that experience like?
It actually happened the first day of tour when I was in Chicago, and it was so surreal. I was just in a cab on my way to promo, and I was hanging out, and I can hear the song, and I guess I just kind of didn't realize what was happening. It was really weird. And then I just started dancing along, and everybody had their like camera to my face, like, "How do you feel?"
This is it. It's going to be a surreal moment and feeling for you. What does it mean for an artist like yourself from the UK to cross the pond and start their tour here in the US, to know that your music is being accepted so well? Like, what does that mean for you coming from the UK to the US like that?
It means a lot. I mean, just to have the opportunity to come and do like such a, I guess, a big tour for a new artist like me is such a big deal. And just to get to come and experience different audiences, and the crowds here are just like amazing. It's like, it's insane. On the first night when I was in Chicago, I mean, jet lag kind of hit me mid-set, and I was just like dying, and at one point my voice just kind of disappeared, and the whole crowd sang back my song, and I just burst into tears because it was so overwhelming, and it was just such like a really special moment. And yeah, it's just, yeah, it's one of those things that you never forget, but it was really special.
I'm sure to start your tour that way, and you have
Yeah.
so many fans that have been following you everywhere. Have you had any encounters with them that kind of stand out in your mind, like whether one-on-one or finding you on the street, maybe even since you've been here in New York?
Well, I think it's really crazy when people recognize me when I'm so far away from home. Last night I was just like, I was literally getting in a cab and someone shouts my name, and I turn around and they're like, "Hey, can I take a picture?" And I'm like, "Sure." And I'm just, I think I don't know, I'm just a bit lost. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. I think
It's like not
yeah.
reality hasn't
No,
set in yet.
It's not set in. So I'm
That-
just like, cool. Do you want to take a picture with me? It's sick.
Sure, I don't know why, but sure.
Doing it.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
That's dope. No, and I think people are really connecting with your music because it is about love, and you feel the sincerity when you sing it. And you said it earlier, you know, you're very picky about what you decide to do. Who do you decide to do music with, or what kind of songs you want to do? You know?
Yeah, I think it's important for every artist to really have like a clear identity, especially as a new artist, because we're all, I guess, trying to make our own lane. So yeah, I think it's important.
So tell us a little bit about "Be the One," your single "Be the One." What does it mean to you? How was that inspired? All the above.
God, that song is crazy. I mean, it got released in 2015,
Right.
and it was, well, one of the first songs. I first released a song called New Love, and then I released Be the One, and it was more just like for blogs and just to kind of, you know, just to kind of show people that I'm putting music out. And it started going crazy in Germany, and then in Holland, and then in Belgium, and then it just caught on all over Europe. And I carried on releasing singles and decided to come back to Be the One in the UK. While the US was like on Blow Your Mind, and I don't know, it just felt like a natural move, and it did really well in the UK. And now I don't know, it feels crazy to be promoting the same song for like a year and a half, but it kind of shows how music is really how everything's working, and you know, with streaming and everything. And yeah, it's just exciting.
Well,
it means
that's epic though, because it's #1 in like 16 countries right now. And you said you wrote a long time ago, you released it a long time ago. It kind of reminds me of remember Omi and the song Cheerleader?
Yeah.
Like he wrote it back in like 2011.
That was crazy. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I heard about that as
And
well.
it was like the biggest summer hit here in the U.S. I don't know, it was like 2 years ago or something like that. But she's just like, yo,
God,
I'm just
time
super
flies.
stoked.
It is
you know?
crazy. It might take a little bit longer, but once that love is there, it like never goes away.
Yeah.
Which is
So
a pretty
it's-
cool thing. And I have to tell you too, if you haven't had a chance to listen to Dua Lipa, this is one of those voices that captures you. And I went and started stalking you like crazy after I heard you on the song with Sean Paul. And there's one thing I will say, because you said that your music is a lot about love, and there's kind of a dark place there, but your music is able to capture that dark, deep feeling and still make you feel good at the same time.
Good. That's what I want. I mean, I'm all here for like juxtaposition, anything that will make you cry and dance at the same time.
And that's what's happening. That is what's happening.
Cry dance,
Thinking
that's
of
a new
you.
thing.
Hey, dance crying. I swear it should be a genre.
But and it's not just a genre. Like that is therapy, because thinking of you does that. Like
Oh,
it
thank
totally
you.
does.
Thank
So,
you.
Yeah.
So that's your lane. You were talking about getting your lane. Cry dance.
Cry dance, baby. I'm
Yeah.
so with
It's-
that.
It's a new genre. I love it. So that means I need to work on my crying when I'm
While
your
you're
backup
dan-
dancer.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Or maybe we could just like draw tears on.
Like tattoo him like a gangster.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be
or
dope. Like three eye drops?
little
Lightning.
like little glitter glue tears.
Oh, all right.
So like
Even
when you're
better.
dancing and the light shines, it will really look like you're crying. But
But they're happy tears because they're
yeah,
glitter.
yeah.
Cry dance.
Oh, cry
Hey,
dance.
There it is.
I'm telling
It's
you.
a movement.
Dua Lipa, Familia, we really appreciate what you're doing with music. We're thankful for you because, as you guys can tell, she's a very real person, super down to earth, super happy, just wants to make you cry and dance at the same time. So we appreciate you, and we're super stoked for you being here in the U.S. Be the One. It's already #1 in 16 countries, and you're hitting it hard here in the U.S. And we're all really stoked
We
to
are.
see where your
Thank
career
you.
is going to go.
Truly.
And blessings to you, and thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Anything you want to say to your fans watching right now?
You guys are amazing, and I'm really excited for the show tonight. And thank you for all your support always.
Thank
Which
you.
she said.
From the StubHub Stage, Adorama Live Theatre. Thank you guys. Love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.